Hey everybody, welcome in tonight. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a great holiday season so far. We've still got New Year's coming up, so the holiday season isn't over yet. So I've got some good news and some bad news, team. The good news is we hit over 2,000 subscribers yesterday, which is pretty cool. It makes me smile a little bit to know that there are 2,000 people out there who like my stuff so much that they say, "Hey, I'm going to subscribe to this guy to make sure I don't miss anything he does." And I appreciate that. But the bad news is, okay guys, bear with me here. Now, I heard this secondhand from my daughter, but apparently she saw my wife kissing Santa Claus. I'm devastated that she would do something like that to me, and we ask for your privacy at this time. No, but seriously, I used to think that's what that song was about when I was a kid, Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. I legitimately thought that it was about a wife cheating on her husband with Santa Claus. Didn't occur to me that it was supposed to be the dad dressed up as Santa Claus. Anyway, so today's agenda, let's actually get to the game here. I'm playing my new roguelike Super Mario RPG ROM hack, Mario's Endless Nightmare. If you don't mind me ranting at you for a minute, because I know that's really why you guys are here, is to hear me rant. So, the origin of this hack, months ago, I was playing that Paper Mario roguelike game called Dark Pit, and just when I was streaming it, one of the casual conversations that we were having, me and you lovely people in chat, was, why doesn't somebody make something like this for Super Mario RPG? And then I remembered, oh geez, I'm the Super Mario RPG ROM hacking guy. Maybe I'm the one that's supposed to be doing that. But as time passed, I was looking for more ROM hacks to play on the channel, because I think that's primarily why a lot of people come here, is for Super Mario RPG related content. So I was looking for ROM hacks to play, and I was thinking, most of these names I recognize are battle hacks. Most hacks that people make of this game are battle hacks. They change enemy stats, sometimes ally stats, spells, attacks for monsters and allies, just stuff that's related to battles. There might be some stuff that gets changed outside of battles, but it's usually not super extensive. It might be a couple of adjustments to the story, it might be palette swaps of characters, whatever it might be, but primarily battle hacks are what people do. So I thought, why not make something that kind of cuts out the fluff, as it were? Make a hack that focuses solely on the battles, but gets rid of, the majority of the overworld stuff in between. All the overworld stuff is just a means to more battles. It's shopping, so you can go battle. It's going to different areas to battle. That's kind of what the idea of this hack was, is if you're here to fight stuff, this is the hack for you, basically. And maybe this is a bit far-fetched, but I have this vision that if people in the future want to make their own Super Mario RPG ROM hacks, specifically for battling, they could use this hack as a base. All the pieces are there, you can just go change your stats, change your enemies, do whatever else you want to. This will be your starting point. I don't know, we'll see if that takes. But let's get to the actual game now. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But anyway, Ryjoy, I see you're the first one here tonight. Thanks for coming in. Let's see, Virginia Fenderhead, where to download the hack? I haven't made the download link yet. Give me a couple days to do that. I'll probably put it in the description of this video, of the stream, and I'll either make a post about it, or I might just make a trailer, a short trailer type video when I release the actual thing. This is kind of supposed to be a one last hurrah beta test, as it were. I've tested this hack several times already, but, every time I've tested it so far, there's been one thing that comes up, and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I should fix that. But yes, the basic plot is, those three wizards you just saw were from the same weapon world that Smithy comes from. And since Mario thwarted their plans, he defeated Smithy and Exor, the wizards are taking revenge on him by putting him into a deep sleep. Their goal is to keep you trapped here forever. The only way to wake up is to defeat these sorcerers. But don't worry, you're not alone. Before your journey starts, you have an important choice to make. Who do you want to be your first available ally in battle? Keep in mind that Mario will always be the character you control out of battle. There's just technical limitations for that, but yes, Mario will always be the overworld character you control. Also, all 5 allies will be available for battle as you unlock them. One more thing, once you have at least 4 allies, you can switch around your party just like normal. That includes the party leader. That's right, so whoever you pick as your first ally becomes the party leader, but you can switch them out whenever you have enough people to actually switch people out. The beginning here, these first few minutes, this is the most text-heavy part of the game. Once you actually get into the game, there's not a whole lot of text. Okay, you can talk to whoever you want to be your first party member. Except Toad. Okay, I had that poll running on the channel for about a week, and the winner of the poll, who's going to be our first ally, is Malo. There you go, guys. You guys wanted me to play on hard mode, which means Malo being my first ally. Okay, so this is where you choose which game mode you want to do. Left whirlpool takes you to the main campaign. This is kind of like the story part of the hack, I guess. You fight through different waves of enemies, you have the opportunity to shop and save and heal and all that in between the waves. And then the right whirlpool takes you to the Pit of 100 Nightmares. Just as like Toad is saying, it's a series of 100 floors with battles and randomized rewards. So picture the Pit of 100 Trials from Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, but each floor has a random chance. You can pay coins for a random item, random equipment. There's some randomness involved to it. And you can also unlock allies and some items as you go along. But to start off, we're going to do the main campaign. Alright, this is Mario's home base. If you're feeling tired, you can take a nap. That's how you heal. You guys like this background? Mario sleeping with his little nightcap on? This is taken directly from the ending screen of Super Mario Bros. 2 for the NES. But every ally that you get is auto-leveled to whatever position you recruited them. So your first character will always be level 1, second character level 2, third character level 6, then level 8, then level 9. That mirrors the levels that the allies come at in the original game. So I borrowed some help from the good people over at the Super Mario RPG randomizer to level down the allies, basically make it so their stats make sense for what they'd be at level 1. And you'll find different NPCs in different rooms. They'll tell you what's going on if you want them to. You are trapped in a dream world, in case Toad didn't make that clear. The only way for you to wake up is to defeat the sorcerers who invaded your dream. To do that, you'll first have to defeat dream versions of Smithy and his minions and collect the 7 stars. So you have to collect the 7 stars, and the bosses of the 7 stars mirror what they were in the original game. So, you know, Axem Rangers give you star 6, Smithy gives you star 7, and then the final boss are those 3 wizards. There are rooms where you will be forced to fight multiple battles in a row, ending in a boss fight. As you defeat them, more rooms will become available. Just keep fighting through them, and you'll get the star pieces eventually. And there's an area a little further in where you can check on your star piece progress, and places to buy items and equipment. New items and equipment and allies unlock as you defeat more foes. So yeah, beat stuff, unlock more stuff to help you beat more stuff. That's the idea. And here are some, you can trade frog coins for rare items here. Good old stat boosters in battle, Yoshi Aid essences, and these 5 items will permanently raise the stat of any ally that uses them. So you can increase, if you really wanted to, you could buy a ton of magic attack ones, pump your boy Malo full of magic attack, and just watch him destroy everything. Although you're going to have to pay a lot of frog coins to do that. Every game needs a save point. Alright, I'll show off the overworld. I promise we'll get to the fighting eventually, but let me show you what stuff we have to offer in the overworld here. This is the room where when you get star pieces, they show up here. So we haven't gotten any yet, And here's the item shop. The Chancellor is now the shopkeeper. I understand this is your dream, but still, I've been reduced to a shopkeeper? Oh well, I suppose I have my role to play. Allow me to assist you. There are 3 tiers of item shops. First item shop that's available, you can buy basic stuff, mushrooms, honey syrups, etc. And then these other 2 shops are the middle and advanced item shops, but they're not unlocked until later on. Chase, thanks for coming in. Glad you like the videos. I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you like this hack. This is the equipment shop area. Same idea. There's 3 tiers of equipment shops. And yeah, only the first one is available right now. I'll talk more about equipment and kind of how I balanced it later. Maybe once we're actually fighting stuff. McSwag, good to see you. I think you were part of that conversation when I first pitched this idea. Here's the accessory shop and Muku cookies. Everyone loves Muku cookies. This shop has a similar idea where there are 3 tiers, but in order to unlock the other tiers, you have to donate money to Queen Nimbus. Give her 200 coins and she'll unlock the next shop. We're broke. Can he at least get off his Game Boy while he is working? No, he's not paid enough for that. Also, another game mode here, of sorts, is the boss rush. If you go through that door, you can just fight every boss in the game, one after the other. That's another way to, yeah, don't tell me about that right now. But if your goal is to just beat the game, get to the final boss as quick as possible, the boss rush is an option. But if you try that at level 1, you won't get any new allies. You unlock allies through the main campaign. And here we can choose which song we want to play in our battles. Got a few tracks here. I could add more, but I'm not sure which songs in the game are actually good, like battle songs. This one's always a banger. We'll do that one first. We can change it later. Down in this hole, this is the Pit of 100 Trials. It's pretty standard. Like, picture the 1,000-Year Door Pit of 100 Trials. This is basically it. But we don't want to do that right now. It's available right from the beginning, so for those of you who like a challenge, you can go down there with one ally and go try to beat it. Good luck. Up the stairs, this is where the main campaign really is. So first things first, you have to defeat all your enemies before you can move on to the next area. No, you don't need to tell me what's going on. This is something important to keep in mind too. Once you go through a battle room and finish it, you can do it again if you want to, just to level up, get more coins, get more experience. This door will be locked until you defeat the other 2 rooms, so we've got our level 1 Mallow, no items, no coins, 10 flowers, and a dream. I guess we'll see how far we can get here. Honestly, I was not expecting Mallow to be my guy this time around, but hey. Easiest thing to do would just be to Thunderbolt all of these guys, but I'd also like to save some of my FP. And besides, these guys, Goombas have a chance to drop HP max, the flower bonus thing. Not gonna give me the drop, huh? I have my own opinions about which allies would be the hardest ones to start out with. I'll just say I think Mallow might be one of the harder ones. Toadstool is probably the hardest, in all honesty, but I think Mallow might be a close second. Ugh. I'm hoping for the Goombas to drop the HP max, but they're not biting. Give me HP, please. Ugh. Honestly, I don't know how I'm beating the Hammer Bros without anything here. Malo and... well, I guess Mario too, but Mario's got a little bit more beef than Malo does. Mario has 20 HP. Both Mario and Malo start out with 0 defense, so... not exactly easy, but hey. Okay, good miss. Peach level 1 with no allies defeats the purpose of having Peach. Yes, exactly. That's what makes her hard mode. Cool. Hammer Bros. Well, we have what, like 4 HP left? Yeah, this is gonna be rough. Okay, we just have to, like, not take any more damage, right? Can we do it? Can we clutch this? Haha, okay. I was gonna be really awkward if I died in the first area, but here we go. Nice. Some much needed stats. Malo, magic attack. When she realizes her group is just her alone, she will need therapy. Hey! You get a few prizes for each battle room you finish. And now, much like the original game, after you've defeated the first boss, you can now add another ally. So really, it's just that first room that you're forced to only have one ally. Sonus2230, aren't you the guy from the random facts about SMRPG? Yeah, that's me. I do random facts about this game. I make ROM hacks of it. Yeah, that's me. Let's go heal. Okay, so our second ally, I'm planning on going in order of what you guys voted for, and as it turns out, both Geno and Bowser are tied for second place. So, there's a few of you in chat. Vote right now by typing it in chat. Are we doing Geno or Bowser as our second ally? Bowser, funnier Malo pairing? Fair. Yeah, Aussie, I would recommend not choosing Toadstool as your first ally. Okay, we've got 2 for Bowser, 1 for Geno. Alright, let's go shop for a few items, I guess, while we wait for, if anybody else wants to chime in. Okay, whichever person we end up with, Malo needs help. Give him some pants. And the weapon we buy... Okay, 2 for Bowser, 2 for Geno. You guys are not helping. Why not Toadstool? Because I had a poll running on the channel earlier this week where people would vote for which allies they wanted to recruit. Bowser and Geno got second place, so that's why I'm deciding between the 2 of them right now. Flower tab. You always have the option of selling flower tabs for money, and honestly I might do that. Go pick up some items. I will admit, this game is pretty stingy with flowers though. If you don't buy any flower tabs at all throughout the course of the hack, I think you end up with like 30 flower points, something like that. Do we want to sell this? Yeah, sure. Okay. Don't look back. Buy a couple of these, one of these, handful of these. Let's go see how much mileage we get out of that. Alright. Okay, so we're still stuck at 2 for 2. 2 Geno, 2 Bowser. I guess, Bowser got 2 votes first, so we'll do Bowser. And yes, Mallow and Bowser is a funnier pairing. Okay, so each time you recruit an ally, they get auto-leveled, like I said, to whatever level they're supposed to be. They get auto-leveled from 1 to whichever level they need to be, based on when you recruit them. And it's a very technical process, so you have to sit through the level up screen. Well, either once or a couple times, depending on which ally you're recruiting. We'll go Magic Attack on Bowser. I have leveled down the allies such that whenever you, if you choose the highest bonus option each level up, they should end up at their normal starting stats. So that's what I'm going to do, is just their normal, or do whichever bonus is highest. Okay, Bowser needs a weapon. And Bowser is a tank, but still, this is not going to hurt. It has spikes on it, that's cool. I mean, Froggy Stick? I guess we can get that. Okay, so equipment. The way equipment works in this hack is for basic armor. Like, there's some... Everybody gets basic sets of armor, like a low level, a medium level, and a high level, and they all boost defense by the same amounts. It's like, what, 6 defense and 3 magic defense for the basic, and 15 defense or something for the mid-tier one, and that's across the board. Because one thing I didn't like about the original game is that Bowser's armor always sucked on him. Like, the work pants are the best equipment for him for most of the game. So I tried to rectify that by letting Bowser actually have defense in this hack. So if you're picking a first ally to come with you, Bowser's definitely one of the easier ones, because he's just so tanky. I'm level 2 now, you can't stop me. And weapons work the same way as armor does, where everybody has 3 weapons. One weapon, the low level weapon boosts their attack by 10, mid-tier 30, high tier 50. That way you're not feeling like, why did I spend 100 coins on Bowser's best weapon when it only boosts his attack by like 20? That's not fair. Everybody loves work pants. Especially Mallow. Pants are his whole thing. So to balance out the fact that Bowser is so ridiculously tanky and has high attack power at low levels, he doesn't start with any specials. He gets nothing. Until level 8, he gets Terrorize. Just do me a favor and don't go in the menu, guys. Don't think too hard about this. Tech 512, thanks for coming in. Curious about what the premise of this hack is? Well, you've come to the right place. Okay, another mechanic here. I added some new enemies to the game, including rare enemies that will randomly appear in random fights. There's about a 10% chance of a random enemy appearing in a fight. They're a little bit tougher than the other enemies around them, but not too much tougher. And if you beat them, you get a frog coin. Is the Japanese exclusive secret code in here? Well, I can't reveal all of my secrets right away, can I? Oh no. Bowser's afraid of dogs. That's okay, I'll beat you over the head with the stick. Those frogs have a slightly stronger attack that they use if they are the last enemy left in the battle, which is why I wanted to kill it first. There you go. Got a frog coin for beating the radish. Bad dog. You don't remember what the effect of Howl is? It's fear. So, reduces your attack and your defense by half, both. It's a pretty broken status, all things considered. I also lowered the cost of things like the True Form pin and the Fearless pin. The Fearless pin is like 150 coins or something nuts like that in the original game. I think it's down to 40 in this. I think that's what I did it at, 40. Okay, Croco fight. Malo, you are level 2. You are probably still going to die, but I think that's just canon at this point. Nine. Nice. But Bowser should do just fine against Croco. Dang. Bowser just too strong. Bowser, like I said, definitely easy mode. But speaking of easy mode, I didn't really change stats of enemies very much in this, if at all. At least not for existing enemies. Obviously for the new ones and unused ones that I added, I had to add stats for those. Chase, you're going to bed. Thanks for coming in. Have a good night. But, yeah, I thought about making a separate hard mode patch for this game, but now, honestly, I'm not sure if it needs one. If you just follow the normal progression of this hack, where you do each battle room in the order you're supposed to do it in, and you only do the battle room once, meaning you don't go back and grind for experience or anything, it's actually got a fairly decent difficulty curve. There we go. Another room down. Malo, my guy, we should probably go heal you. The idea behind a lot of this is freedom, where you can play the game however you want to. You can level up, get stronger, stomp all over the game if that's your thing. You can try to take on stuff as early as you want to, if that's your thing. Whatever you want to do. Some people like a challenge, some people want to just play through the game, whatever you like. Alright, and here's Mac. Eventually. Yes, I did in fact make this hack. This is an Axem Ranger original. A frog, a dog, a lump on a log. This first area, you've got 3 battle rooms with 5 fights in them each, but of course that changes depending on the area. Like Area 2, I think, has 2 battle rooms with 10 enemies each, and then the third one has 1 room with 15 fights in it, something like that. There are different permutations, I guess. So I don't think every room is just 5 battles and that's it. But, yeah, I'm glad you guys like it so far. Is this enough to kill you now? No. The dogs have 30 HP, I think? That sounds right? There's both a campaign and a Pit of 100 Nightmares? Yes, indeed. The campaign, I imagine that's going to take us at least a couple, maybe 3 sessions to get through. But once we're done with that, we'll do that next. The Pit. So yes, just make sure nobody's confused about that. There are 2 pits. There's the Pit of 100 Trials, which is an optional side quest, as it were, here in the main campaign. And then there's the Pit of 100 Nightmares, which is the different game mode you choose at the beginning of the game. That's the one that has randomized allies that you recruit, randomized rewards that you can potentially earn on each floor, that kind of thing. Ugh, Malo, you need just a bit more oomph, and you can defeat these guys. Legendary, exactly. See, somebody gets it. I know I could count on you, McSwag. Now, again, the allies that you recruit, the levels they get leveled, auto-leveled to are automatic and static. So it's very possible that they could be auto-leveled above your team. In fact, I think most times when I play through this, when I tested it myself, it ended up that my third ally, who comes at level 6, was 2 levels ahead of everybody else. The other 2 were level 4. Man, I almost feel bad for how easy this is with Bowser. Yeah, don't worry though. The difficulty definitely picks up as you go along, so don't worry about that. Yeah, that's a good point, Aussie. If you're trying to get your feet wet into ROM hacks, you've never played a ROM hack before, this is probably a good one to start with. Because the enemies, again, except for the new ones that I've added, the enemies haven't changed at all, so you at least know what enemies will be doing, for the most part. Except for the final boss. I guess we'll heal Bowser just in case. He's tanky, but not invincible. Nice. Now we just have to beat up the 4 Stooges. Thanks, Ryjoy. At least Mac didn't jump off the screen where we can't get him and crash my game. Mac wins by doing absolutely nothing. I suppose one thing to consider when judging the difficulty curve of this too is that I know what's coming because I made this hack. So, like, I went out of my way to sell a flower tab to buy equipment because I knew that's what was going to help me the most. The average person may not necessarily know that at first. Okay, we got attack plus. Increases allies' attack by 2. I mean, the obvious choice here. Come on now. The rich get richer. These stat boosting items, it's a function that's left over from the original game, but it's never actually used anywhere. But it is a little wonky. If you check your status menu exactly immediately after using it, you'll see that it'll show. So like the top number is your base stat, and the bottom number is your stat with equipment. So Bowser has 55 attack, 65 if you include his weapon. You'll see that that bottom number doesn't get updated properly when you use a stat boosting item until you exit out of the menu and then get back in. Just something to be aware of. Alright, we beat the first area, got our first star piece. I'm still semi-testing this, like I said, so let me make sure the star piece is actually here. Cool. Now let's go heal. Alright, off to area 2. We got the sewer enemies, forest area, all the forest enemies too. Let's see. I guess one of these, because we're not getting Toadstool for a while. Just in case we run out of supplies. Never a bad idea to have pick-me-ups. How much money do we have? Yeah, let's buy maybe like the wake-up pin or something. It can't happen that you soft lock on one of the chefs. I guess technically you can do that in this hack. Just promise me you won't. Pretty please. Although maybe you can, if you want to. I'm not a cop. True form and wake up. We'll do those two. They'll come in handy later. Alright, onward to area 2. Can't go through until you beat it. Okay, this one's 5 battles, and then the other one is 10 battles. I remember that now. That's okay, I'd run from me too. Bowser is scaring the monster. Nice. And before anybody tries to get clever and, like, jump over the enemy and go to the exit of the room without fighting the enemy, it doesn't work like that. There's an invisible wall until you beat the enemy in the room. This monster is called Shadow, and yet it casts a shadow. Curious. See, no sneak. Cannot sneak past. Yeah, whenever you beat the enemy, there's a door sound effect, just to make it clear that, yes, you can continue on now. Spooky. You gotta love that poison palette on Bowser. The deep purple. Nice. Barney colors. Poor guy. I love you, you love me. Toadstool, only as a friend. Bowser and Toadstool, everyone's favorite couple. A couple of besties. Culex is a random encounter. I mean, adding any enemy as a random encounter is not that hard, honestly. I just don't know if I would do that. I mean, I'll just level with you guys right now. You're watching the developer play through the game, so expect spoilers. The final boss of the Pit of 100 Trials, not the Pit of 100 Nightmares, but the Pit of 100 Trials, is Culex. All of the optional bosses that you fight in this game, like Jinx, those weird treasure chest enemies, those kinds of things, I stuck them all in the Pit of 100 Trials. Ooh, room service has been kind to me. Now, some of you may be wondering, with recruiting allies, it's totally optional. When you unlock an ally, you don't have to recruit anybody. You can just not talk to anybody and not recruit them. So some bosses have to be tweaked a little bit to make sure they function when you have less than a party of 3. Like, what's a good example? Like King Calamari, how you have the 3 allies that have to move up in between stages of the fight, and when King Calamari, when the tentacles, like, abduct your allies, it needs to function if there's not enough allies to abduct. And there's also Johnny challenging you to a one-on-one. Oh, that's a fun thing to bring up. So, Johnny will 1v1 whichever character is in your first party slot. So like right now, he'd 1v1 Bowser. But for those bosses, there's 2 versions of them. Basically, I have the game check if you have at least 3 party members, and if you do, it does the normal boss, and if you don't, it does a variation of the boss. Yeah, Bunt is a good example, because Bunt has that issue with the candles, where you have to blow out his candles, but then he lights one every turn. So if you only have 1 ally, that fight becomes impossible. So the alternate version of the Bunt fight is that the candles don't get relit. But they do get relit if you have a full party of 3. But speaking of full party of 3, Gino, you got 3rd place, my guy. Welcome to the team. Alright, gotta auto-level him a few times, so bear with me here. Gino learns Gino Beam at level 2, because Gino's another one of those allies, similar to Bowser, where he just has higher than normal attack power. So even at level 1, he packs quite a punch. Yeah, Bowser, Mallow, and Gino, this is like the dream team right here. Okay. Auto-leveled to level 6. And I think the other 2 are still level 4, right? Yeah, they're still level 4. So Gino is, Gino's gonna be a lot of fun. But something to keep in mind, too, is Gino starts at level 6 in the original game, and you fight Bowyer with Gino, and Bowyer does some pretty solid damage to Gino. So just because Gino looks really strong right now doesn't mean he's gonna be our universal fix-all. But let's give you some equipment. Finger shot, and your cape. Adds a touch of dramatic flair to your wardrobe. And I guess we'll buy you an accessory just for the sake of having something. Fearless. Did I keep one level up bonus option always being better than the others, or are they all just a basic amount now? No, I haven't changed the level up bonuses, so they all still do the original rotation of like special attack does 3 every 3 levels, HP does a boost every 3 levels, that kind of thing. And I made it so that with the allies who don't normally start at level 1, if you choose the highest bonus option for each of their level ups, they'll end up at their original stats once they get to their starting level. So like Gino, I chose the highest stat bonus for each level up, and these are exactly his normal level 6 stats. Thunderbolt and lightning. Very, very frightening. Nice. If you're feeling spicy, you can beat this entire game without Mario. Even though Mario's still kind of the main character. Just don't think too hard about that. Mario has friends in low places. Ouch. That does a lot. Oh yeah, we still don't have Terrorize. Mario's just trying to have a nap, guys. He doesn't have time for this nonsense. This might be my nightmare, actually. Giant spiders. Anybody need to be healed? I guess not really. Oh, I got a defense plus and I forgot about that. Malo, all yours. I guess Malo's kind of our main character, since you guys made me pick him first. Honestly haven't decided if I'm gonna keep him on the team the entire time or not. Hey, Drunk Ship, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. A sequel to Super Mario Bros. 2? Yeah, you missed the beginning monologue that I did. The menu background is actually ripped from Super Mario Bros. 2. Magic is good. Look at that beautiful background. Super Mario Bros. 2. Is Wart the secret boss? No, Wart is not the secret boss. I really, really, really wanted to add Wart to this, honestly. I thought about that a lot, but I do not have spriting skills. I don't know how to make a sprite of Wart that works with Super Mario RPG. If someone out there wanted to do that, if someone out there has that kind of talent, I would be so happy to add Wart to this game. Hey Miguel, thanks for coming in. I'm doing well, thanks for asking. Hope you are too. Super Malo RPG sounds like exactly something somebody should make. Well, there you go, tech. There's no better place to learn how to ROM hack than watching stuff on my channel. You can go out and make that hack. Turn the big Yoshi sprite into a base for the Wart sprite. That's a fantastic idea. I like it. I know how to do a lot of stuff with this game, editing-wise, but sprites, I can't do sprites, guys. You guys have seen my other hacks like the Axem Rangers and Super Koopa RPG. Those are my attempts at making sprites myself, with mixed results. Mushroom. Oh, Tech, you used to make ROM hacks? Mega Man X and Super Mario World? Yeah, those are good choices. And doing an RPG is a very different beast than hacking a platformer. I mean, I'm assuming anyway. I've never tried to hack a platformer. My problem is that with stuff like I can write a fun story, I can balance stats, I can do that sort of thing, but I'm not really good at, like, making, like, platforming levels, that kind of thing. Like, I don't have any ideas on how to make good platforming levels. I stick to what I know. Fun fact about these bees, if you use fire on them, they will run away. But usually fire, they have such low HP that any fire attack is going to kill them anyway. And the only fire, excuse me, the only fire attack you're going to have at this point in the game is Fire Orb. And they also run if they're alone. Let's make sure Malo is topped off here. I'll just tell you guys, when I tested this hack last time, like, not like on stream, I mean like on my own time, when I tested this hack for the last time, I chose Toadstool as my first ally, just for balancing's sake, to see, okay, if you chose the hardest ally to be your starter, how hard is this thing? Is it at least possible? And this is way easier. Like, my first team was, I think it was Toadstool, then Malo, I want to say, and then Gino, and that team was very tough. At least in the beginning it was pretty tough. Toadstool is just not a combat unit. But yeah, having Bowser on my team, it's kind of ridiculous how much easier it is. Tech, you could only make Kaizo level stuff? Yeah, I'm not really a Kaizo guy. I don't like Kaizo hacks, honestly. No offense. But yeah, I've seen streamers play through Kaizo hacks. I've even seen them at things like GDQ, Games Done Quick. And every time I see them, I'm like, I'm really impressed that this person can do this, but I don't think I'd want to try. It's fun to watch somebody destroy it, go through it, and make it look easy, but for me, probably not. I mean, I did that one stream where I played through Super Mario World as a small Mario only, and even that felt like it was touch and go sometimes. Imagine me trying to do something Kaizo level. Yeah, exactly, Tech, you get it. That's kind of where I'm at with a lot of stuff, especially ROM hacks, is just, I'm old, guys. Like, between work and taking care of the kids and all that kind of stuff, I don't have that much time to play video games that often. Like, if I was a teenager again and I was playing video games for hours on end, sure, let me take a crack at doing something really hard. But for the hour or two I have on any given night to play games nowadays, I don't want to play it on super hard mode. I don't want to have to trial and error my way through one level in a night. multi-world randomizer of Super Mario World without power-ups? Yikes. That sounds bad. Okay, Bowyer. We're not doing too bad on HP. I guess we'll just top off here. See how this goes. Yeah, Drunk Ship, that's kind of how I view speedrunning too, where it's just you develop a route, you practice it over and over again until you get it perfect. And that's, again, something that doesn't necessarily appeal to me as a player. I like watching people speedrun. I think that's impressive. But for me, I don't think I'd ever want to be a speedrunner, because you have to practice the same stuff over and over again. And I think that would just kind of wear on me. Hey Jacob, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. But yeah, I've seen enough Kaizos in my time to know that they're pretty unfair about power-ups. Like anything that's not Small Mario is not allowed. Or yeah, they exist just so you can take a hit, that's it. Malo... I guess we can heal you, sure. Bowser, you can't do anything, because you don't have... Okay. So this, if you had Geno, Bowser, and Malo at this point, this would probably be a hard fight, because the only offensive special option you'd have is Thunderbolt. You just kind of have to wait out for Bowyer to block something that's not the Y button. Could we get a quick recap of how progression and the mechanics work? Sure. Let me see here, where to start. So, you fight your way through multiple rounds of battles. So you go through a door and there's like 5 or 10 or 15 battles depending on what area you're in. And you have to fight those battles all in a row without getting a break to shop or rest, you know, rest in an inn or anything like that in between. And your goal is to defeat all 7 of the Smithy Gang bosses, as usual. Same progression as the original game, just in boss form. Beat the bosses, get the 7 stars, so that you can fight the final boss, which are the 3 wizards you saw at the beginning of the game. And then along the way, after you beat various battle rooms, you unlock stuff like item shops that sell more stuff, equipment shops that sell more stuff, and so on. More allies, the whole 9 yards. Does that answer your question, Drunk Ship? If you fight Bowyer with less than... I'm guessing that's supposed to be less than 3 party members, does he not do the switch gimmick? No, he still does the switch gimmick. Even if you only have 1 ally, he still does the switch gimmick. Okay, Malo, you were always going to die, my friend. I'm sorry. Guess, do we want to top ourselves off here just in case he blocks items again? How long would I say is this ROM hack? An excellent question. And the answer, my favorite answer, it depends. If you just do, you do each door, you get through it, get through each door as fast as you can, go to the final boss. It also depends on your team layout. If you pick, like, the best team, which, well, I don't know who the best team is, but if you pick a good team, it'll probably take you a few hours to get through it. If you pick a bad team, or if you stop to smell the roses, maybe do the Pit of 100 Trials, you know, it might take a couple more hours on top of that. Okay, I can use the A button again. What is that, Des Reset? Thanks for coming in. You call this a roguelike hack, what is randomized, and how is progression done? Okay, so there's 2 game modes to this. There's sort of a main campaign, and then there's more of a kind of more in the spirit of what a roguelike is, I guess, if that's what you're looking for. So we're doing the main campaign right now, where imagine a similar progression system to the original Super Mario RPG, just with all the overworld stuff cut out. But you can also do stuff like recruit allies in any order you want to. Equipment is different, so there's some stat balancing that's different compared to the original game. The randomized one, it's called the Pit of 100 Nightmares. That's where each floor has a chance at a randomized reward. You have to pay coins for a chance at a randomized award. Sometimes the reward is a random item, sometimes it's a random piece of equipment, sometimes it's even experience. And the reward changes depending on how far in you are. So deeper into the pit, better rewards are going to be available for you. And even the allies you recruit along the way get randomized. So you pick your first ally, whoever you want your first ally to be, but then as you recruit more allies, it's just random, whoever you get. Okay, we got star piece number 2. Cool. Okay, now that we beat Bowyer, we have access to the mid-tier shop. Mid-mushrooms, maple syrups, freshen up, elixirs. Later on, flower points become an issue, but they're really not that bad yet. Pure waters might actually come in handy. I might use these against the Belome fight, the second one, because these defeat the clones in one hit. Or I might sell them if I get into a pinch. Yoshi looks stoned. I'll take your word for it. He's doing his best, guys. That's part of why Boshi wears sunglasses. He looks even more stoned than Yoshi does. Entrances are not randomized in the campaign, because the overworld, the levels themselves, they don't really mean much in the campaign. It's more of just a way of separating out the different areas in a way that makes sense. So randomizing the entrances really wouldn't do anything for a hack like this. I mean, in a way, this is almost like a companion game to the randomizer, where the randomizer does stuff like, well, randomizes overworld drops and pickups. So, you know, you might get the super suit in the very first chest you find in the game. You might find a mushroom where the super suit used to be, that kind of thing. The randomizer is a totally different experience. Everything is randomized. Whereas this is more of a, you know, if you want some randomness, but you really just want it to focus on fights, this would be a better hack for you. Or at least a different experience. I'm not going to say this hack is better or worse than the randomizer. It's just different. And besides, I think I'm technically a rando developer now. I think my name is going to be listed in the randomizer credits in the next iteration. So, yeah, I made this, and I also made the randomizer, apparently. Miguel, didn't you level up right away? I don't know what you mean. Like, my allies level up when I recruit them, if that's what you meant. Kyle Barron, thanks for coming in. Yeah, eventually we're going to, me and the randomizer crew, we're supposed to be adding in the Super Mario RPG remakes post-game battles to the randomizer. That's coming soon, TM. We've just got a few kinks that we're still working out, but it's mostly done. Let's see. Okay. The Green Gamer, thanks for coming in. Was I the one that made the Axem Rangers hack? Yes, that was me. I made the Legend of the Axem Rangers, and I also made Super Koopa RPG. How did I handle stats? Do tougher enemy classes appear in harder areas, or have you adjusted enemy stats so they scale appropriately? So, vanilla enemies, you know, like piranha plants that we're fighting right now, that were in the original game, I have not adjusted their stats at all. It's really your ally stats that are adjusted, because I changed how much weapons and equipment do, stat-wise. So that's where that balance comes into play. But then there are extra enemies that you'll find in both pits. So both pits of 100 Trials, you'll fight vanilla enemies up until about floor 80. And then the last 20 floors, you'll fight new enemies that are tougher. They're meant to be scaled up, like past the factory, basically. Did Snooplax and streamers find out you are the... I don't know who Snooplax is. Find out you are the one who created Randomizer? Okay, not going that far. I did not create Randomizer, but the people who did create the Randomizer recruited my help for this latest iteration that they're working on. So I didn't create the Randomizer, I'm just helping with its latest release. Very eventful fight. You helped out with logic on, so you're technically a rando developer too? Well, hey there, look at us. Just a couple of rando developers talking to each other. I don't know. When Pidge asked me to work on the project with her, I specifically asked her, does this mean I get my name in the credits? And she said yes. So, there you go. Your save file deleted itself when you played the Axem Rangers? Yeah, that happens sometimes. I suggest in that hack, and honestly any Super Mario RPG ROM hack, this seems to be a safer bet. Never use the first save slot. I don't know why the first save slot is so volatile, but you seem to have more luck if you use the second, third, and fourth save slots. Speaking of which, I guess I should probably save on a different slot when I get back to the save point, but oh well. I haven't had my save erased up to this point in all of my playtesting, so I'm hopeful. Rocco only uses physical attacks, so honestly I think Bowser's got this one in the bag. Miguel, I'm number 4 on your top 10 list. Nice. Maybe after this hack I'll be number 1. Yeah, I'm of the opinion that with any ROM hack in general, I mean, ROM hacks, excuse me, ROM hacks vary in terms of quality. That's just a given. But even the most robust, well put together ROM hacks, I believe in making a save state, just to be safe. That's something that I always do when I play ROM hacks is if I will use a normal save point and then I will immediately create a save state on my emulator, just in case something happens to the save. Ouch. Jamst. I'm glad my soothing voice can lull you to sleep. This is a very chill stream. At least that's what people tell me. So welcome in. Let's see, any opinions on M2 DXV3? Oh, Mother 2 Deluxe V3. I have not played that. I mean, I love me some Earthbound, but I haven't played that. What does that change exactly? Is it like a balancing thing, or is there more to it than that? It's probably up there in terms of comprehensive overhaul of an existing game. Huh, okay, that sounds promising. I like when a ROM hack has some meat to it. FF6 has some amazing ones. Yeah, I gotta beat FF6 at some point. I still haven't done that. Oh hey, we got the flower box dropped. I'm sure I've said this a million times on stream before, but in the original game, Croco has a 25% chance of dropping a flower box, and I haven't changed that. But we got it. Lucky us. Okay, this is where we start getting to the point where just because we beat a boss doesn't mean we're done with the battle room yet. So, we beat Croco, but we continue on. Oh hey, this is the Pile Driver, an enemy that existed in the original game's code but was never used. So, I turned it into a rare enemy here. That does sound promising, Drunk Ship. Maybe I can do that on stream at some point. Play through that. I forget. Can I use Thunder on these guys? Kyle, you've played too many randomizers and hacks. It's the perils that you face playing fan-made content. I did not know it did that. Let me write that down real quick. I did say that this was supposed to be sort of a final beta test. Is there a download for this? There will be later this week. There's not one right now. So I still have to put together like a formal README document. And I'm doing kind of a final test right now. Like you saw, that Pile Driver just had a weird glitch. I need to fix that. So just trying to plug those last couple holes before I release it. But I will release that later this week. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to just kind of release it, do like a romhacking.net post and be done with it, or if I'm going to make like a short trailer video, something like that. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. So yes, those of you who are looking to play this, just pay attention to the channel. Once it's available, I'll also put it as a link on this stream, because we'll pick up this hack next week. We'll stream it next week too. It'll be in the description of the stream, both in this one and the one next week. So there will be places to find it. Don't worry about that. Malo's dying a bit. Our attack output's not what it used to be at the start of the game. I feel like our stats are starting to catch up with us a little bit. Enemies are getting a little bit tougher. Walk it off, Malo. He's fine. No big deal. Malo.exe has encountered an error with a bomb to the face. Who found themselves instinctively trying to time blocks for magic attacks. I actually used to do that when I was a kid, because I figured you can block physical attacks, why can't you block every attack? So I would try to do that, and of course it never worked, believe it or not. But I thought deep down inside, if I just kept trying, I would eventually block it. Yeah, that's the thing too, is that there are even some physical attacks that you can't block. Gaming moment. Man, I'm good. Okay, there's Punchinello. Every game should have timed hits. That's just what RPGs need to be. Nice. Successfully made him waste his turn, summoning more bombs. My genius. Sometimes it's frightening. Could you imagine a game like one of the Final Fantasies? Like Final Fantasy VII or something? Cloud, we need to blow up this reactor. By the way, do you know about timed hits? Let me teach you. I'm kind of mixed on timed hits. I think it works for some games. Like Mario RPG, Paper Mario, I think timed hits make sense. But if I'm playing a game like Final Fantasy, I feel like that's more about, I guess tactics is a better word for it, where it's let me choose the right option at the right time kind of thing. I don't want my skill at pushing a button repeatedly to be a factor in whether or not Sephiroth kills me. Dr. Lethal the Dragon. Like the name. Thanks for coming in. You should get into ROM hacking. It's a good time. Part of my monologue at the beginning of the stream was me talking about entry-level ROM hacks and what people do to begin their ROM hacking journey. Most people make battle hacks of this game because stats are really easy to change. There are a lot of tools to help you do that. So if you wanted to, you could always use this hack that I'm playing right now as a base, and just adjust stats as you want to. Is there a decomp project going on for Super Mario RPG? Yeah, her name is Pidge01. But seriously though, if you ever peruse the ROM hacking Discord that we have, Pidge is always talking about how, you know, she decoded this, she figured out what this was doing, that kind of thing. There are definitely still some unknowns though. We don't know everything that there is to know about this game, but we come closer every day. I'm proud to say that I've made a couple of contributions in that department, of figuring out stuff that nobody knew before and adding that to the general discourse. But all things considered, I haven't looked too much into hacking other games, at least not recently. But for the longest time, Super Mario RPG has had one of the best ROM hacking editing programs available. It's surprisingly user-friendly. Alright, there we go. And there's our third star. Yeah, lethal. I mean, Super Mario RPG is a beast to hack, but again, if you're doing a first pass at a hack, I wouldn't try to do like a big, full-scale hack. I would just make something small that's maybe like a couple levels, or just do a battle hack, a stat hack. Exactly. Lazy Shell is amazing. Okay, our fourth ally. Let me check the poll here. Who got the most votes between these two? The winner is Mario, as it turns out. So Toadstool, once again last. Have a good night, Jacob. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just do good old highest boost every level. Super Mario RPG, but it was balanced with a sledgehammer. Well, it sounds like you got your title. There you go. You've wanted a challenge hack for SM64 NSW? What is that? Super Mario 64 New South Wales? Oh yeah, there's a typo in the word patient. Literally unplayable. 0 out of 10. Okay, so this gives you a little warning here once you get your fourth ally, that it just sort of... The way the game checks for which allies you should have, it just kind of does a one-by-one check of, okay, should we have this ally on the team? Great, stick him on there. And it may rearrange your team. So once you get your fourth ally, you need to go in and switch things around to where you want it to be. I'm kind of liking Team Geno Bowser Malo here, so let's keep that up. Oh, Super Mario RPG New South Wales. My bad. Did we get the next tier of equipment shop? I think that's what happens. Yeah. Even better equipment. Does Mario really need anything right now if he's not on our team? I guess we'll just stick with the trio here. Oh, the Hurley gloves are fun. Because guess what? When Mario's not on your team, you can't throw Mario. So I purposely left this weapon in here. Okay. Super Pants, Super Cape, Super Shell. In case we do have Mario on the team at some point. It's better than the last one, at least. They might look the same as the basic pants, but they're better. Those prices seem a little low, maybe? Maybe. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to make this a super hard hack. The Pit of 100 Nightmares is definitely hard, though. That's, if you're looking for, like, the big challenge, that's what's, that's where the challenge of this hack lies, is the Pit of 100 Nightmares. What next? What do you mean, what next? What next is Area 4. Oh wait, I didn't buy any items. I guess I don't really need any? I haven't been using that many. Bring back the unused wizard color palettes? Yeah, that's what I did in this hack. I think you could do it. It's not too hard to do. Oh, that's right, I meant to change the battle music. Didn't want to do this song the entire time, but oh well. We'll do that next time. I will probably forget between now and then. Yeah, you just toss Mario with the color palette of whoever's in your first slot. It's a little janky, but I love it. Here's my idea for a hack. Mario RPG, but it was balanced with the sledgehammer. Most certainly not in your favor. And some of the text being changed to make fun of the hack. Well, there you go. You got your premise right there. The mark of a good hack is one that does not take itself too seriously. Ah, here's another rare enemy for you. Crawley. The final boss is Croco. Now that's a hack. Alright, McSwag, now you have your idea for a hack. Go out and make it. Nice. I've been scarecrowed. Who's the best party member, by the way? That depends. I think it actually changes throughout the game. If you're talking this hack specifically, I think Bowser is definitely the best one at first. Toadstool at first doesn't really do much, but she becomes clutch support as time goes on. Like, you need a good healer on your team as time goes on, and she fills that role pretty well. And Geno, I think once you kind of hit endgame status, Geno becomes the best one, just because of raw damage output. Has it ever been attempted for Bowser to try and use whoever's in the first slot if Mario isn't there? No, so the way that Hurley Glove is programmed, it specifically throws the Mario sprite. Like, Mario's position in the battle doesn't matter, it always calls the Mario sprite to be the one that's thrown. It's the color palette that matches whoever the first ally is. You'd have to go in to Hurley Glove's code and manually change it to be a different sprite. Your party positioning has no bearing on that. A hack with Valentina as the final boss. Super Mario RPG, Valentina's gold-digging adventure. Snowy Zorua. Thanks for coming in. Been watching some of your stuff lately, super curious about this ROM hack. Well, I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you can get some answers. Are the dolls their own sprite or just a shrunk version of the others? They are their own sprite. There's a separate Mario doll sprite in the code. And same goes for the others too. Francis is the final boss. You know, that's a good point. How has someone not made, like, that Francis Toadstool dating simulator into an actual ROM hack? Somebody should do that. Hurley Gloves making Bowser throw himself would be quality content. You know, Bowser has a bigger sprite than the other allies, so he takes up more RAM than the other sprites. There may genuinely be some fights where if you tried to have Bowser throw himself, the game would crash. Which honestly would make for a funny video. Bowser throwing himself crashes Super Mario RPG. Karaboscus. Paper Mario Master Quest, turning Koopa Koot into a secret boss. I love that. That was just brilliant, coming up with Koopa Koot as a secret super boss. I'll be honest, I haven't looked too much into the code for Hurley Glove to see exactly what checks are made, but I know that it's the Mario doll sprite appears only if Bowser actually throws Mario. You know, if Mario has a status condition or is KO'd or something, Bowser throws the doll instead. So I think there's just a check that says, look at the first ally. Does that ally have any status effects? Is that ally still alive? If so, then put that doll there on them while he's being thrown. Top 10 questions science still can't answer. It'd be like those Super Bowser RPG levels from the 1000-Year Door, where you get to play as Bowser, and he has infinite lives. Okay, there's Booster. Yes, the Booster fight is required in this game. No getting around it this time. Sad Meat. Great name. Thanks for coming in. Is this out now or just a test? It is not technically out now, but it will be in like a couple days. I just have to put together the actual patch file and do the put together a README file. I might also do a like a brief trailer video just to announce it on this channel, but I haven't decided yet. I was thinking about the reveal trailer video I did earlier this year, and honestly I'm not sure what I would do differently in this video, because a lot of the features I mentioned in that video are things that actually happened, so I don't know what new I could put in a video. He can't throw him if he has mushroom status? Well, he throws a doll if Mario has mushroom status. Enemies respawn when you leave and re-enter rooms. Yeah, so if you clear a battle room, you can always come back to it and do it again, if you need more experience. The chests that you find at the end, the prize rooms at the end, those chests don't respawn, though. You can only get the prizes once. See, exactly, Miguel. You get the idea. It's me, Mario. I'm the star of this game. Shh. Bowser is talking. I am the star of this game. Oh, you meant in general, do enemies respawn when you re-enter rooms? Yeah, that's a it depends situation. There are some enemies... So if you crack open this game in Lazy Shell, the ROM hacking software for this game, enemies have a property that you can set to determine whether or not they respawn if you enter and re-enter a room. You can make it so they respawn as soon as you leave one area away. You can make it so they respawn if you like leave to the world map and then come back. So it depends. Geno does not have Geno Boost yet. I think that's level 8 is when he learns that. The Pit of 100 Trials is something you can just pick from the game start. Yes, more or less. So there are 2 pits in this game. There's the Pit of 100 Nightmares, which you can pick as the game mode you choose from the very start of the game. That's the game mode that has stuff like randomized prizes, randomized allies, that kind of stuff. And then there's the more traditional Pit of 100 Trials, which is a side quest of this main campaign mode. What if you have to farm the same Goomba over and over again just to exit the second room? Yikes. That sounds diabolical. A Breaking Bad Super Mario RPG hack? Mario makes crystal meth in Mario's pad. You just see a random explosion coming from his pipe house. I could see Bowser being some sort of, like, drug kingpin, but not realizing that he's a drug kingpin. Like, he has members of the Koopa Troop who sell drugs for him, but he has no idea that's what they're doing. What are some other changes you've made to the main campaign? Well, the final boss is different, so the game does not end at Smithy. There's a boss rush mode, if you want to do that. There's new equipment and differently balanced equipment. So you guys so far have only really seen the rebalanced equipment, but there is new equipment in this game too. That's where you have to, there's a shop with Queen Nimbus in it. You have to pay her 200 coins to unlock more shops, and those shops have better equipment in them. There's stuff like an accessory that reduces your speed, that way you can control who goes last in your party order. Like a power up, power down kind of thing, where it increases your attack power but decreases all your defense, those sorts of things. Different options. Get some nice battle items in here. Okay, now we can go get our 5th and final party member. Toadstool, we've kept you waiting long enough. Miguel, go make Super Bowser RPG. Retro Matt, good to see you again. Thanks for coming in. Toad is a playable character. I could see that, honestly. He's one of the few characters in this game that has sprites of him facing all 8 cardinal and intercardinal directions, so that's already a good start. Did I put Culex in the boss rush? Culex is not in the boss rush, but Culex is the boss of the Pit of 100 Trials. The regular Pit of 100 Trials, not the Pit of 100 Nightmares. Yeah, the auto level thing takes a minute, especially with your last ally, getting them to level 9. The good thing about getting Toadstool last is she comes with all the stuff that makes her good, like Group Hug. Well, most of the stuff that makes her good. She doesn't have Comeback yet. But when you recruit Toadstool as one of your first allies, she knows Therapy, and that's about it. She has Therapy, and, yeah, Therapy and very weak attack power. So, again, don't pick her as your first ally unless you're looking for a challenge. How much money do we have? I guess let's go pay Queen Nimbus her blood money and unlock the next shop. Here's the thing. I considered making a menu where you could, like, manually choose the number of coins you wanted to do, but I could only get it to work with, like, increments of 1, so you'd have to scroll to the right 100 times to do 100 coins. So it just seemed easier to do it this way. Predetermined amounts. Kind of like A Link to the Past, with the fairy fountain thing. Alright. We unlocked the second shop, but if you helped us finish the third floor, there'd be even more available to you. You need to pay her another 200 coins. Okay, here's where you can buy some battle stuff. Ice bombs, fire bombs, amulet, feather. Here's some new equipment for you. Chest plate. This is for you physically oriented characters. Boosts attack and defense, but no boost to magic attack and defense. And armors that grant immunity to specific elements. And also flower tabs. What inspired me to make this hack? A couple things. So, I had ranted about this at the beginning, but most hacks of this game are battle hacks. People will change enemy stats, maybe some ally stats, that kind of stuff, but they don't really change much with the overworld. So this is my attempt at kind of cutting out the middleman. If we're not going to update anything in the overworld anyway, why bother having it? So I made this incredibly bare bones overworld, and let you just focus on the fighting. I was hoping that people in the future, people who want to make their own ROM hacks, can use this as a use this hack as a base. Because most people, again, they start out making stat hacks. So you can go out there, just pick this up, make your own stat hack, and just focus on the fighting without worrying about anything that happens in between. Are you able to freely shuffle special moves between characters, or does that break the game? Oh right, we were going to change the song. Let's see, what do we want to do? Well, let's do the Culex song, sure. Get a little Final Fantasy in here. Freely shuffling special moves between characters. That is a thing that Randomizer does. I didn't want to do that in this hack, though. Because I wanted there to be, although there's some, there is some random element to this game, I still wanted it to have, like, a difficulty curve that makes sense. And if you're just learning random spells, then the difficulty curve kind of gets thrown out the window. Like, what happens if I start with Psych Bomb, and I only have 10 FP? It's useless to me. So I wanted to keep a baseline, you know? He's got his animation. That's right, he does. Yeah, he's supposedly supposed to do that in the original, but Toadofsky is another one of those huge sprites that takes up a lot of RAM, just because he's really tall for a toad, for some reason. So, I've tried to use that particular animation in hacks of my own, but it usually ends up glitching out, just because that particular animation sequence uses up so much RAM. So I made it so Toadofsky is the only one in that room, so he could finally do the little dance he was always meant to. Orb. This battle theme is making the stakes of this fight seem much higher than they actually are. Why are so many of you immune to that? Oh, still level 7. Man. Always learning something new about this game. That's what this channel is for, my friend. That and cool ROM hacks. So anyway, if there are any other tracks in this game that you want to see as an option for battle music, let me know. I feel like I picked the best ones, but I can always add more. how feasible would adding the battle features from the Switch remake be, like the mid-battle party swaps or the area of effect time it hits? Probably very hard. I did add kind of a makeshift team gauge thing to that, to the remake post-game content thing I mentioned earlier that I'm working on with the rando team. But the makeshift team gauge, it only works for the Jinx fight. It doesn't work for anything else. Ow. But yeah, I have no idea how to add in those things like the mid-battle party swaps or timing. I know there are some hacks that have added, like Will's Super Luigi RPG. I know he added being able to time certain spells to his hack, so that's definitely a thing that could be done. But switching out party members mid-battle, I would have no idea how to do that. Barrel Volcano as a song? Okay, that's not a bad choice. I could see that. For a song to add. Why is Drain called that? An excellent question. Probably for the same reason Drain Beam is called Drain Beam. Which is, I have no idea. One of these days, on my list of stuff to do on this channel, I was going to make a video about fun things in Super Mario RPG that got weirdly translated. Such as the origins of Neo Squid. I've been scrowed again. One thing I always thought was cute was that when Geno uses Geno Whirl, he looks toward the camera afterward and, you know, does his signature end of battle pose. If you if you time Geno, or if you use Geno Whirl as a scarecrow, he also looks at the camera and does this little scarecrow jig. It's cute. Okay, here's Great Guy and Knife Guy. Okay, Knife Guy is weaker to magic, Great Guy is weaker to physical attacks. Depending on which allies you have on your team, pick one and focus on them, is my advice. Do you know why those removing enemies do that to the player's sprites? It's in the main game too. I'm trying to think of what you mean. Removing enemies do that to the player sprites? What are you talking about exactly? I'm not sure what you mean. Sad meat. Dr. Lethal, I have one of the most calming voices of every Mario YouTuber you've personally seen. Yeah, I get that a lot. I think that's why people come back to me. I've never been one of those streamers to be like, oh my gosh, look at that, it's so cool. I'm not a super high energy guy. I think people come here because it's relaxing. That and I make cool hacks and stuff. I think that also gets people to stick around. The Remocon enemies you fought, they cut into the player sprites. Oh, okay. I think that's a RAM issue. I think, so the Remocons are fairly big sprites. Those battles kind of max out the RAM that the game has allocated. So the result is the game's kind of pushing itself and it cuts into some of the sprites a little bit. The Remocons aren't the only enemies that do that too. Green Gamer, you having a good time? Well, good. That's what I like to hear. It's late on a Saturday night. Let me be the thing that, the last thing that you watch that calms you before you go to sleep. Although part of me wonders where most of my viewers are from. I would imagine most of you are living in the United States, and you're night owls like me. But I wonder if I get any of the early morning European crowds, too. Man, I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but again, in all of my playtesting of this hack, this is so much easier having Bowser on my team. Alright. Bunt always makes me nervous, and he's what's at the end of this battle room. US West Coast. Okay, that's where I live too. Finished your own stream? Ah, what kind of stuff do you stream? Zorua? That's always been a hard Pokemon for me to say. Zorua? I rely on the Pokemon anime to tell me how to pronounce these things. Green Gamer, you too? Where do the streamers go when they're done with their streams? Here, apparently. John Marcus, thanks for coming in. Bowser is in fact a chonk. Let's shake things up a little bit here. Pokemon challenge runs and other retro games. Oh, I like it. See, Pokemon, I like the Pokemon games, but I've never played them, like, super in-depth. Like, there have been a couple of Pokemon games where I've bothered to do stuff like EV training and getting good IVs and stuff like that, but I usually don't do that when I'm casually playing through the game. So I feel like Pokemon is one of those games that has a surprising amount of depth to it, if you, like, actually play it that way. So I could see it being good for challenge runs. I know Nuzlockes are a big thing. Super Mario RPG Nuzlocke. Malo dies and you can't use him for the rest of the game. Alright, Bowser finally got a special, everybody. Now there's another rare enemy. Another one of those enemies that exists in the original game's code but goes unused everywhere. So for some of these enemies, I just left them as they were. Well no, stat-wise I had to update all of them. But for attacks, I left some of them alone because they do have their own attack patterns. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, though, so I couldn't tell you if Crippo is one of them. I mean, in all honesty, I feel like an SMRPG Nuzlocke would either be really interesting or really boring, with not much in between. Because it's either, you know, you just play super carefully, and you don't lose anybody along the way. Because as long as you're, you know, as long as you keep yourself healed, keep yourself at a good level, it's very easy to not die, but, you know, it's either somebody dies toward the beginning of the game and the whole thing is just a disaster, or nobody dies and then it just becomes a vanilla playthrough at that point. Yeah, I guess that's fair. It looks easy until you do something wrong. It's kind of like playing Fire Emblem and doing an Iron Man. If nobody dies, it doesn't look hard. But as soon as somebody dies, suddenly things matter a little bit more. You tried it before, Matt, with Pokemon Yellow, got to Koga and ended there? Ah, I've never actually tried a Nuzlocke. But again, I'm not very good at Pokemon. My Pokemon die all the time. Okay, here's a question for you, team. what's everyone's favorite Pokemon game? Feel free to include remakes, remasters, whatever else you want, even spin-offs. Honestly, I think my favorite Pokemon game might be Let's Go Eevee, which I know probably sounds like a basic answer to a lot of people, but I'm from the generation that grew up with Pokemon Red and Blue, and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu really just kind of felt like the, well, they're like the best versions of Generation 1 that are out there. They've updated the games, they've added some of the stuff from the later games to it. I think they're a great way to play the original generations. Plus, my kid loves Eevee, so it's hard to go wrong there. Oh, and I will say, maybe the biggest factor into why Pokemon Let's Go Eevee is my favorite is that you can 100% it. You can get every Pokemon in that game without trading with anybody. You can, because I have Pokemon Go, you could get trade exclusives like Alakazam and Machamp by trading with yourself from Pokemon Go. So you can complete the Pokedex by yourself. And to me, that's a huge deal. Alright, are we prepared for some cake? Is there anything we need to do here? I mean, we could put Toadstool on our team, but I didn't buy anything for her, so that's probably a bad idea. I guess we'll just stick with this team and see how far we get. I will say, I do like Legends ZA. I like that the battles are a little more active, a little more dynamic to them now. I think that's a lot of fun. That doesn't mean that turn-based is obsolete, but I like that it did something different. Guys, I don't have Mario on my team. I can't do the thing and kill the chefs. As a kid, I always thought that Bunt's Right chocolate bar was a hockey stick. No, that's fair. I used to think that chocolate bar was a flag. Because you see, like, the white part on the side of the chocolate bar, it looks like a flagpole to me. And it looks like it's striped. I thought the part that was in the shadow was just a shadow. I didn't realize that was a continuation of it. I don't want to alarm anybody, but I think this cake might be moving. Was? Ist not moving? Back to work? This is true, we did have this conversation last time. But we have new people in chat this time. The Rorschach test of Bunt. It reminds me of that scene from, if you guys have seen Galaxy Quest, the movie, where Tim Allen is fighting against the giant rock monster, and what's his name? The guy that's not Spock says, you know, what is his motivation? Can you try reasoning with him? It doesn't have motivation, it's a rock! What is Bunt's motivation? Can we reason with Bunt? He doesn't have motivation, he's a cake! Blow those candles out. Replace the chefs with Gordon Ramsay. Now that is certainly an idea. Uh-oh. Sleepy time. Never mind. That was handy. Who put saw blades in the cake? It's like Halloween, when somebody is supposedly putting razor blades in your chocolate bars or something. They put saw blades inside a cake. Alright, we got the candles now. Raspberry. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Who puts raspberry on a cake? Don't go chasing waterfalls. Just stick with, like, cherries and strawberries that you're used to. There we go. I cut out the cutscene where Booster eats the cake. It's just, it takes so darn long. Nice. Okay, cool. We cleared Area 4. We can go on to Area 5 now. Let's take our quick smoke break. And by that I mean healing. Nothing bunt cakes. I don't know. Did you guys like Nothing Bunt Cakes? I feel like it's one of those things where it was kind of a novelty. It was really good at first. And then now it's just kind of, yeah, this is cake, I guess. It's not anything spectacular. Kind of like all of those cookie shops, like Crumble Cookie and whatnot, that are popping up these days. Like, yeah, this was really good at first, but now it's just kind of, okay, I'm not paying $10 for a mediocre cookie, but thanks. Alright, now we can access the high-tier item shop. And yes, there are rock candies. Although I'm considering changing that. That might be a little too much. Let's offload some of the honeys. Guess we don't really need the mushrooms anymore. Is there anything here we really should be getting rid of? Yeah, I guess this is fine. Oh, I know what we need to do. We're heading up to Area 5, which of course has the Johnny fight. Bowser is going to one-on-one Johnny. I guess we'll even out the equipment for everybody at this point. Actually, do we need to? Because I think we unlock the 3rd tier after Area 5. But we'll build the last tier of the shop here. Is there a way to add more items to the inventory? I think that, I don't know. I don't know of a way to do that, but I'm sure somebody smarter than me would know how to do that. You'd have to add, like, an extra page to the item menu to make that work. But I'm sure somebody could figure that out. Yeah, you can buy some pretty broken equipment here at the top floor, but it's all very expensive. Attack scarf, safety badge, ankle weight, speed down by 50, so you can control who on your team goes last, ghost medal, troop a pin, and then there's some new stuff too. Rainbow suit makes you immune to all elements. Power suit grants attack up and defense up status in battle. Sage robe just grants good magic stats, but not great physical ones. Karate gi. This is kind of the opposite of the Sage robe, where you boost your physical stats, but not your magic ones. This is kind of like the Lazy Shell. Lower attack but raise defense. Grants defense up status. Yeah, it's kind of like Lazy Shell. It makes your unit basically... unit. I'm talking like a Fire Emblem player. It makes your ally pretty defensive, hard to kill, but they won't be able to do much beyond that. And then this is the opposite. It turns your ally into a glass cannon. Why not make those worth frog coins at some point? I don't know. I might. Not ruling anything out. Again, the name of the game here is options. Like, you need a lot of money to buy those things. And even then, they're not going to make you unkillable. You heal with syrups because Canadians were involved in development, obviously. Super Mario RPG is Canadian propaganda. But yeah, we'll see. If it ends up being too broken to have those weapons and armor available, then maybe I will change it. Or maybe even just raise the cost of them or something. Sure, let's do this one. Sorry for being Canadian. First of all, how dare you? Mario chugging his 10th maple syrup in the middle of the smithy fight. Somebody please help me. I can't breathe, it's stuck in my throat. 15 battles, all in a row. Let's do it. That's right, risky armor, aka Danger Mario. I wanted to give the player some options. Excellent. Okay, let's try this. As we get farther and farther, I think the gap between our levels and the allies, or the enemy's stats are only going to get bigger. I think we're now getting to a point where we're at kind of a low level. Mario's blood is an amalgamation of pasta sauce and maple syrup. Mama. This does not Mama the Mia. Man, somebody should really make... Shiny Bowser. Somebody should really make a, I know there was that Super Mario Mon ROM hack that I want to try out one of these days. Somebody should do the same thing, but with Super Mario RPG. Geno can be your mythical Pokemon. If I knew anything about making sprites, or even just Pokemon ROM hacking in general, I would totally make one. Won't give any spoilers, but I might be pleasantly surprised. Oh. I mean, if they... I'm not expecting a miracle, but if they included the Axem Rangers in that hack, I'm gonna lose my mind. It's me, guys. They put me in the Mario Mon hack. Okay, these guys still suicide themselves on you, which is fine. At least they're dead. Nice. Alright, we'll heal you too. Good work tanking hits, everybody. Just doing an inventory check here. I was saying Bowser would be a good choice to 1v1 Johnny, but now I'm wondering if I'm biting off more than I can chew if I do that. I only have mushrooms to heal Bowser, and that's not good. I guess we'll see what happens between now and then. Super Luigi-mon. Nice. No, Luigi time. Bowser throwing his own color palette. Nice. Base level Bowser is pretty good, because he's finally at base level now. But is he 1v1 Johnny good? I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I made a Super Mario RPG hack starring the Cooper brothers. Somebody needs to return the favor and make a Paper Mario hack starring the Axem Rangers. It only seems fair. Yeah, I like the once again mechanic. It's... I mean, all things considered, at the end of the day, it's one of those mechanics that doesn't have a big impact on the game, but still, it's just nice to have a little flavor. A little something extra. I'm used to watching footage of the game where every enemy pops apart in one hit. What do you mean enemies don't die instantly? Yeah, and that is, that's something that you'll notice more and more as we go through this hack here, because our levels... I mean, yes, we're fighting enemy after enemy, but the enemies scale up faster than we level up. Again, as long as you're not going back to grind. So you're gonna notice that it's going to get harder and harder as we go along. Who knows? Maybe I'll actually die at some point. What is the deciding for once again? So when you defeat an enemy using a normal A button attack, not a special attack, every enemy has a chance of dropping a different flower bonus. And that bonus is static for each, oh, here's King Calamari. It's static depending on the enemy. So like for example, every Goomba only has a chance to drop HP max. It will never do a different bonus besides that. As for the odds of you getting that bonus, it also depends on the enemy. I couldn't tell you any of the odds off the top of my head, but I know that each enemy has different odds. I'm probably going to butcher pronouncing this. Terence Foaloke? Sorry, I did my best. Oh hey, this is live. No, this isn't live, actually. I'm just really good at predicting what chat is going to say. If you game over, do you still keep the experience you earned? You do not, actually. That's one of those things I'm still debating if I want to change or not, because sometimes it does seem a little mean. If you go through an entire, you go through a 15-room hallway, and you die on the last one, you have nothing to show for it, and you just killed a half an hour, or whatever it is. So, I don't know. I might change that at some point. Alright, there's one round down. Yeah, so the way that their feet just kind of slide to the next location, that's a side effect of that change I mentioned, where I had to make bosses compatible with having parties of less than 3. The event script for moving between different stages of this fight involves, telling the actors, the sprites, specifically to use, their walking animations. And that doesn't work if you don't have the full team with Mario at the head of it. So I just made it so it didn't do that. Fun fact, the allies don't actually move. Your allies stay in the exact same spots, other than, like, moving left to right slightly. It's the level that moves underneath you. Well, Terrence, that's a good timing that you're here, I guess. Sorry about your sleep schedule, but good to have you. Okay, that just seemed mean. Gino comes back and you immediately take him again. Next you'll say that animations are just a series of moving single images. You mean they're not? Reminds me of that one Tumblr post that made the rounds years ago, where it was something like, oh, I can't remember what it was now. It was something like, if you like creamer in your coffee, you don't actually like coffee, you just like the taste of milk. And then other people were making fun of that by saying things like, if you like cooked chicken, you don't actually like the taste of chicken, you only like the taste of the heat of your oven. I like that his tentacles are separate, sentient entities that can get scared, but the main guy can't. Alright guys, time to face your fears. Never mind. Take your time. Tentacles being separate entities would be close to real life. That doesn't sound right, but I don't know enough about calamari to dispute it. Can the tentacles, like, do their own things, independent from the rest of the squid? Alright, there we go. Gino in the game. Not scared anymore. One went to university, one became a ROM hacker, another became Bitcoin. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin. I had a coworker once who was obsessed with Bitcoin. He thought it was the coolest thing and it was the currency of the future and all that. And I remember just thinking, bro, you and I are both working this job. We have the same job title and we're not... I know you're fantasizing about selling Bitcoin and retiring early, but it's just not going to happen, my friend. The best time to buy Bitcoin was like 20 years ago when we were in high school. How much HP do you have, my guy? The ship's mine. 500 HP, okay. And you're decently tanky. Ow. Favorite ally attack animation? That's a great question. I'm thinking. I don't know. This game has some gems. I mean, Toadstool's frying pan is a good one. Just, you know, comically attacking somebody with a giant piece of metal. Mega Glove is another good one. A comically huge fist. Can't go wrong there. Hurley Glove is probably up there. I don't know if this counts, but part of my ROM hacking adventures, I made a custom animation of Geno using the Stella 023 from the remake, and that turned out pretty good. Shooting a laser beam at an enemy is kind of cool. Okay, he's got to be on the ropes. There we go. Calamari tentacles are capable of independent, autonomous, reflexive reactions. Oh, I did not know that. The more you know. How does the calamari compare to the Neo squid? Is there any hope of us getting to level 10 before Johnny? Probably not. That's a lot of dudes. Beautiful. Love it when a plan comes together. Yeah, Bowser has some good ones. That's for sure. He also has the fewest, which is kind of sad. Sea life. Sea life is crazy. Sometimes it feels like we have no business being down there. Just let the fish do their own thing, man. We don't need to disturb them. Reminds me of that old post of, what is it? We know more about space than we do about what's in the depths of our oceans. Because NASA knows what's down there, waiting, lurking in the depths, and now they're trying to do everything they can to get us off this planet. Squid and octopi tentacles are also capable of those sorts of reactions. Oh, interesting. I did read, though, somewhere that the plural of octopus is not octopi, it's octopuses. I think it has something to do with, like, Greek word origins versus Latin word origins, something like that. And why is Bowser throwing Luigi? He's not throwing Luigi. He's throwing Mario with Bowser's color palette. Because the way Hurley Glove works is that it takes the color palette of whoever's in the first slot of your party. Cacti is still the correct plural. Zorua, I'm ready to stop being cacti and be cactus. Octopiece. Yes. One house, multiple heaths. Octopodes is the rare but technically correct pluralization. The best kind of correct. Technically correct is the best kind of correct. But then again, you literally have drunk in your name, so I'm not sure how much stock I should be putting into this. Alright, here's Johnny. Here's Johnny. Okay, do we just go for it? Just Bowser, let him do the one-on-one. I mean, we have some things here, right? Elixir, even a Kiro Cola if we're feeling desperate. We have options, let's go for it. At least the Octopiece aren't Meese. Meese nuts! Got him! First let's boost Malo. Nice. 1 damage against Johnny. We can deal with that. Kinda craving sushi right now. Anyone know where to get sushi at midnight? Quick, while the fish are asleep, make sushi. Johnny is wearing a shark costume. It does look like Johnny is wearing a costume, but that the bandana blues and reds are actual sharks. At least that's what it appears to be. Malo versus Johnny. That would be a disaster. Malo is not equipped to do a one-on-one. Let's just say that. Bless his heart. We love Malo, but Malo's really more of a support guy. Which I think is exactly why you guys picked him to be my first party member. Okay, I have hope. That did 3 damage against Bowser, so I think Bowser can do okay in a one-on-one. Eat this. Wahaha. Not bad, fellas. How about it, Mario? Just ignore that part. Mario versus me. Want to mix it up? Ignore that part too. Just give him a second, guys. There we go. Okay. You didn't see anything. Okay, yeah, Bowser's doing fine. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Bowser's really good at impressions like Courage the Cowardly Dog. I forgot about that show. That was a good show. But Mario, I mean, early in the game, the original game anyway, Mario does impressions where he can turn into people like Mario, or, Bowser and Toadstool. It only seems fair that Bowser would be able to do the reverse. Exactly, Kyle. See, there you go. And Zorua, you're on the same page. There we go. Alright, good work, everybody. Shark pirates are down. But we're not out of this yet. We've still got 1 boss left in this room. In this, yeah, this battle room. Keep on poking. Not quite enough, huh? I wonder if Bowser could finish the job. Good enough. Okay, we got Shocker. That's good timing, because that'll come in handy for Yaridovich. Honestly, I wonder if this might be the time to sub in Toadstool. Yaridovich's Water Blast hurts. Put me in, coach. Ah, the weird green pig lizard things. You gotta love them. Gorgons. Why is this Mario's Endless Nightmare? Is it SMRPG's Pit of 100 Trials? Yes, more or less. There are 2 Pits of 100 Trials in this game, actually. There's one that's a separate game mode with random stuff in it, and then there's one that's more of a traditional Pit of 100 Trials that you can take on at any point during this main campaign. Like, I could go do it after I'm done with this battle room if I wanted to. You could do it at the very start of the game with one ally. You could do it at the very end of the game when you're, like, really decked out with equipment and stuff. It's up to you. All things considered, yes, the Gorgon is a surprisingly cute enemy. Walla walla walla. These enemies are hitting kind of hard. Debating. Oh well. Ouch. 1 whole damage. I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume you can't use fear on the ghosts. I don't usually care about status effects that much in my casual playthroughs, because in most cases the easiest way to beat an enemy is to just hit them once and then they die. But playing it this way, it kind of forces you to think a little harder about what you're doing and what enemies are weak against. Ouch. We were talking about weird translations in this game earlier. I think, if memory serves, I think the Greepers are supposed to be related to Shy Guys somehow. Like, that's why they have the same face. I don't remember what the Japanese names of either one are, though. Keep on poking. Imagine Yoshi's Island's enemies in this game. I would love more custom Super Mario RPG sprites. I would absolutely put those in my hack if people made them. The ghostly Shy Guys from Yoshi's Island? I thought they were just called Ghost Guys, but maybe I'm making that up. Isn't Shy Guy Hi-Ho or something like that? It very well could be. That sounds familiar. And then the Greepers are Rai-Ho. Yeah, there you go. See, Raijoy's got my back. I'm a genius. Okay, this Yaridovich's sprite is too huge to put in this room normally, so that drill bit is supposed to represent Yaridovich. Do we want to take the easy way out? Oh, no, wait, no, it's not the easy way out, because I still don't have any equipment for Toadstool, so she'd probably die immediately. So yeah, I guess this is the team we're using. Good job, everyone. Oh no, the music changed. Credit to the SMW, or the SM Wiki. Eh, close enough. Enjoy your potatoes, Terrence. Okay, we boosted Mallow, now let's boost Bowser. Imagine if it was the Rosetown Elder. I thought about that. But then I thought about not doing that. I don't know why I settled on Drill Bit, honestly. In fact, now that I'm saying this out loud, maybe the Elder would have been a better choice there. You did not boost yourself yet. Ugh, Water Blast. Too strong. One of your favorite parts is the flashy magic. Yeah, I feel like... I mean, obviously this game was a marriage between Nintendo and Square, and I think it really shows. You've got the charm and the humor of Mario, you've got over-the-top spells like Final Fantasy. It really shows, and I love that. And no game has really lived up to that since. Booster, I hardly know her. Dad, when did you get in the chat? Why not have the Elder Sprite do that little animation when he changes back to Yardovich? Well, the problem with that one is that involves the Elder with all the little townspeople coming together, and that is very intensive on the RAM. And just the way that I have the rooms structured, it wouldn't work to have something that big happening in the rooms. So, technical limitation is the official answer as to why I don't do that. The closest it ever came to Star Spirit summons in Paper Mario. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Paper Mario is a great game. It's one of my favorites. Paper Mario is a great game, but we do not grant it the rank of Super Mario RPG 2. Alright, I'm out of maple syrups, so we gotta make this count. Yardovich has decently high defense, but Bowser don't care. He's doing a lot of damage against this guy. Any second now, we'll win. I'm feeling it. Screen-wide explosion. Miss. Reminds me of that comic strip I saw of, I think it's a Gyarados using a Hyper Beam against a Pidgey, and you see it like fire this massive laser. It zooms out to show the Earth from the perspective of space. You see this massive explosion, and then it zooms back in and says, Pidgey fainted. Alright, we got Geno Whirl. It's over now. Alright. Area 5 clear. 5 star pieces down. And we get some stat boosting items for our boosting pleasure. Alright. Magic attack, magic defense, speed. Who do we want to get these? Probably Mallow. Bowser will make you tanky. And sure, we'll give you some speed, too. Why not? Alright. Back to base. Do-do-do-do-do. Looked like it was getting close. Yeah, I think it is. That one was a bit closer than I like. And I think it's only going to get worse from here on out. Because I don't plan on stopping to grind levels. So I think it's only going to get harder. Let's buy ourselves some equipment. We got the highest basic armor available now. Let's just deck everybody out so we don't have to think about it anymore. Oops. Wait a minute. Early gloves. Oh, cool. I found a glitch. Well, not a glitch. I guess I just forgot to do this. Spiked Link should have more attack power than Hurley Gloves. I'll get on that. Okay, everybody else seems like they're doing okay. This hack has 8 areas. It's really only 7. The final boss you can fight immediately after you clear the 7th area. And there's not really an area for the last boss. It's just you go through the door, you fight the last boss. Alright, let's buy some stuff. Yeah, do we really need the high-end stuff right now? Just kind of looking at our inventory. We're at 33 flowers. Let's see, maple syrups are nice. We'll buy a bunch of those. We get thirsty with FP. Okay, we're heading into Area 6, let me think. Who's in Area 6? Okay, we do fight Belome 2, so the pure waters are going to come in handy there. I think that might be enough to get us through it. Are there super bosses? Not really. The closest thing is Culex. Culex is at the bottom of the pit of 100 trials. Speaking of which, why, the save point is not here. I was in a vanilla brain for a minute here. I moved the save point over here. Alright, we made some good progress today, but I'm going to call it here for the night. It's pretty late where I'm at. So we'll pick this up. We'll leave right where we left off. We'll pick up right where we left off. Same time next week, Saturday night. Hope to see you guys there. Hopefully we'll beat the final boss, maybe? I don't know. I feel like the last 2 areas are going to be pretty tough, but we'll see how far we can get. And plus, there's still other stuff I got to show off with this too. But like I said, some point this week, watch out for the release of this hack, whether it's in a link to like a romhacking.net post, or if it's an actual video that I make. Jury's still out on that one. But one way or another, it'll be released in some way, shape, or form this week. So look forward to it. Thanks for coming in tonight, guys. See you next time.